What's up, guys? We're back with another 3D printed press. This is an upgrade of our previous press based on some feedback we got from people. In this video, we're going to go through the design of it, how to set up your build plate, and then how to put it together. Let's look at the design of this thing. We've got a base with an arm. So you rotate the arm, the RAM goes up and down, and we're using this to push things in or out of holes most of the time. Inside of here, there's a gear, and the back of this RAM is a rack gear. So as we turn, this is how we generate motion. So this guy is basically the wrench to give you a bunch of mechanical advantage so that you could push really hard. The older version was lacking this kind of outrigger, so it was a bit tippy. We did a better job about it tipping to the left, but the arm had to be on the left side of the thing, well, facing it. And we've extended this out front more because it was prone to tipping in that direction. And now with the longer legs on it, if you're pushing directly over the end, hopefully it won't want to tip over on you. We've also added these counterbores and through holes in case anybody wants to bolt it to a bench. That was a request on the last version. So we've added these here, and then the two sides actually attach to the main body via these slide features. They're not quite a dovetail, but they're similar. So they slide right in the front, and then they fit fairly snug. I'm not really sure this crosspin is required, but it's there anyway just to make sure that they stay where you put them. There's a few interference ribs on the inside of this main body to hold the pin in place, and it should be pretty close to flush on both sides. It's a little tough to push through, but it's meant to be permanent installation. I don't anticipate anybody taking this apart a lot. So really this was a one-time install to kind of make everything permanent. We had a hole in the last version so that you could push pins out, but you couldn't really get the pin out of the hole after that. So we did have some requests to provide a way to get the parts out. So this block is removable. It just slides in. It's staying there under its own weight, and that's it. So when you push things through, you can pull it out of the way. You can also back it up and leave a separation here so that you could fit an even larger thing through. And you've got the two different size holes depending on your application. The RAM's got a tapered socket in one end. It's 2.5 degrees on the side. It's 15 millimeters deep, and it's 10 millimeters square on the front face. The chamfers are added after that. So somebody did request that we add this feature for adding accessories to the end of the RAM. And we also still have the other end, which is solid. So you can just flip it over if you have no use for the accessory. And maybe I'll add the RAM with no accessory socket too, in case someone wants two empty ends. This plate, really, its only purpose is to form this side of the cutout for the RAM. We couldn't print that with no support, so we've got this guy with interference ribs. It pushes down nice and snug, stays in there, and nothing's really pushing against it. The forces don't really provide any side load most of the time. So this stays in place, really does its job nicely. We've got this piece is reversible. It's the same part on both sides, so the counterbore also exists on the bottom, which shouldn't cause any problems for anybody. These cutouts were just finger picks so that you got something to grab onto. I seem to use the big hole now that it actually exists, but those really seemed cool when I was drawing this. This is the print bed setup. We want our parts in these orientations. So the main base is going to be on its left side. We want the sockets facing up, the hole facing up. These dovetail features will print on their side, so that'll give us a nice part with no supports. The cover plate, the side plate, is posts up. We want this square post on its side for strength. Probably print it on its end without too much problem, but it would be a weaker part. We'll maximize strength by making sure that the print lines go in this direction. The supports, we want to print on their side so that the rib is up, and that'll allow us to print all of these hexagonal shapes without support, and we can print this whole rib feature without support too. Then we've got the center block with the knockout holes. We want to put it upside down so that its top surface is on the plate. We want the wings down, and printing in this orientation just means no overhangs, no support. So the other pieces, we've got the arm with the square socket facing up. The gear wants to put the flange down and the square socket facing up. And you can see there's a 45 in here on both sides that lets us print that with no support. The RAM, we want on its side like this. Teeth up would also work, but they would be weaker. This will get a tooth-shaped path, which is harder to break than layers stuck together this way. We got the hexagonal pin that holds the supports on, printed on its side, again for strength. This would be a really tall, skinny part to try to print on its end, and it probably wouldn't end well. Anyways, that's how we set everything up. Print them like this, you should be good to go. Here are the parts we should have printed. We're gonna start with this side cover to finish the channel for the RAM. Looking for this big chamfer that wants to be up front, and just align the pegs in the holes and smush this down. Should be a good tight fit with a, satisfying feel going in. Next, we're gonna put these supports on. So this is kind of a dovetail. We've got the male slide on here, and we're just gonna line them up, push them all the way down to the bottom. We're gonna go till they stop here. A good check is to make sure we could see through that hexagonal hole. Once you're there, you're all the way down to the bottom. So same thing on the other side. Push this down, look through the hole again. Last things last is this pin. Just gonna line it up and drive it through. You might need a punch or something to get it all the way down so that it's not proud, but you can just kind of push it down on a desk and at least get it to here. But that's about where it goes. So next, we've got this guy that serves as a floor. So it's got these wings that engage with these slots. We're just gonna slide it in from the front, and this gives you a hole that you can push pins through with. We'll take our gear, put the shaft in, drive it all the way down till it stops. Then we've got to choose which side we want the arm on. I want it on my right as I face it. So put the gear in from the left side, and then we're going to choose whether we want this socket down or the flat end, and then drop the RAM in from the top. We're going to line this up, and that arm angle is not quite right. So I'm going to pull this back up out of the top, and then I wanted this a little bit higher, so I'm going to rotate this back maybe 30 degrees, and now drop this guy down. Now my arm's more at the angle that I want when I finish. So that's how you adjust it to get the teeth in these two to line up appropriately. Now as we move the arm, we've got a RAM that moves up and down. We've got a hole underneath the center of the RAM so that you could push things through. This block's removable in case you have a smaller pin and a really tiny part. You've got a different size hole. You can also back this up to push something through into a larger slot, but you do have to push against this because that makes right here on the press push against here on the press. If you push against the table, you're just gonna go backwards. So that's it. That's the full assembly. So you've got a few choices to make and, set it up the way that you want.